Football is back, and so is the Premier League. And there's a club who are ready to be back in the top flight this season. After a very unfortunate and close-fought fight to avoid relegation in the 22-23 season, Leicester City were finally relegated, lacking by just 2 points, the margin to overtake Everton, who escaped. Last time around, Leicester won the championship in the 2013-14 season and were promoted to the Premier League for the 4th time. They then went on to incredibly win the Premier League after an impressive display in 2015-16, finishing a whopping 10 points clear of second under the guidance of Claudio Ranieri after surviving relegation by 6 points just months before. At 5,000 to 1 odds, Leicester did the unthinkable and beat the best teams in the world to the league title, putting the club on the map along with the likes of players like Jamie Vardy, Riyad Mahrez, N'Golo Kante, and many, many more players. It was breathtaking, it was astounding, it was amazing. From 2015-16, when they achieved potentially the greatest sporting achievement ever, Leicester have slowly dropped down the league table and then eventually were relegated. But after a brilliant and almost predictable win of the Championship last season, they are now back. Last season in the Prem was the first time since 97-98 that all 3 promoted teams were relegated. So Leicester City will be hoping that they can at least survive this year. But with the looming points deduction, which could mean the club start the campaign with negative 10 points, they're really going to have to put in the work. Upon relegation, many predicted that Leicester would not be there long. Some quality players inevitably left the club, like Kasper Schmeichel and James Maddison, but they still had the quality of squad that were favourites to come straight back up. Leicester City secured automatic promotion to the Premier League for the 24-25 season after a 1-year absence by winning the championship with 97 points. This title earned Leicester City promotion to the Premier League for the 5th time, a joint record along with Norwich City and West Bromwich Albion. I'm not even sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing. The 23-24 season was a great one for the Foxes. In fact, it was a record-shattering one. Leicester topped the league in style. They won with 97 points, which is the club's second best ever points tally. Only the 102 points obtained in the 2013-14 championship title win topped this. Leicester City have now won the championship for the 8th time, which makes them the club holding the most second-tier titles in English football history, having previously been level with Manchester City's 7. They didn't just top the league, though. The Foxes bossed the league. They scored 89 goals, the second most goals scored by a team, and to add to this, they only conceded 41 goals, which is the fewest number of goals conceded in the league. In their run to winning the league, the Foxes recorded their longest winning streak in a season, from beating Southampton 4-1 at St Mary's Stadium on September the 5th, 2023, to defeating Queen's Park Rangers 2-1 at Loftus Road on October 28th, 2023. Winning 9 consecutive games. That's a joint club record for consecutive league victories, level with the 2013-14 season. But they didn't stop there. They also broke another club record with 7 wins from August 12th, 2023 to October 28th, 2023. They set the record for the most consecutive league away wins in Leicester history. So, how exactly did the Foxes do it? Their disappointing exit from the Premier League led to the departure of some of Leicester City's key big names. Players like James Maddison, Harvey Barnes, Yuri Tielemans, Johnny Evans, Daniel Amate, Nampalys Mendy, Timothy Castagna, Kasper Schmeichel. Having lost all these players, some thought that they were going to spend a considerable amount of time down in the Championship. And this is understandable, looking at that list of departed players. The club's relegation also meant the work of manager Dean Smith came to an end. Smith's exit paved the way for the appointment of the man who has changed the Leicester team and masterminded their promotion, Enzo Maresca. Now, does that name ring a bell? Well, it should be. He was Pep Guardiola's assistant coach in the 22-23 season and the recently appointed Chelsea manager. That's right. In June 2023, Maresca became Leicester City's head coach with the aim of reinstating the Foxes in the top flight. He said upon his appointment, "Guardiola is the best coach in the world. I'll take a little bit of his magic with me to Leicester." So far, we can agree that he took more than a little bit of Guardiola magic. Having once been under the tutelage of Guardiola, Maresca's philosophy isn't hard to guess. Talking about his football style, Maresca said, "My idea with football is to try as much as we can to control the game," and controlling the game he has been doing. He's famous for creating overloads in central areas, which also means plenty of patient possession and passing. Maresca has successfully implemented this philosophy at Leicester, and this has worked excellently. Leicester City ended the 23-24 season with the second highest average number of passes as well as possession per game. Only Southampton had a higher average possession that season than Leicester's 61.2%, or racked up more passes than the Foxes' total of 25,216. Now, speaking about his manager, the player Wilfred Ndidi said, "He has been amazing. He's helping the team to be more together. If you have a look at the team, the way we play, and also the guys on the bench, we're all together." He tries to make everything simple with his philosophy. Kudos to the manager because he's been brilliant since he arrived here. Are you still doubting how good Maresca is? Well, just remember, he was Guardiola's assistant. I mean, you can do whatever you like with that information, but why not be like Dewsbury Hall? When Dewsbury Hall was asked if he knew Maresca before Maresca was signed, he said only that he was Pep Guardiola's assistant, so I immediately thought he must be top level because Pep isn't the sort of guy to appoint anyone as his right-hand man. Guardiola has also sung the praises of the Italian. Enzo will become an extraordinary manager. I feel it. I felt it when I saw Mikel Arteta. He has helped to develop many young players, Pep said. Without a doubt, Maresca has gotten his tactics right, but their great season is also thanks to the wonderful informed players he had. According to lots of fans, one of Leicester's best players in the 23-24 season was midfielder Kiernan Dewsbury Hall. The Englishman was very important to the Foxes' ambition to return to the Premier League. He appeared in all but one game for Enzo Maresca's side last season. In 44 championship matches, the 25-year-old youngster provided 14 assists and scored 12 goals. However, in what came as a disappointment to many Leicester fans, the midfielder has now left the team and signed for Chelsea. This will leave them in a sticky situation for the season to come, as he was a very reliable player who just starts getting the numbers to back up his quality for the Foxes. Having lost more key figures at the club this season too, including another player of quality, Kelechi Iheanacho, which was surprising considering his potential and goal-scoring ability, Dewsbury Hall and of course Enzo Maresca to Chelsea, Leicester City are expected to have a busy transfer window. And this becomes ever more important because of the age of their players. Jamie Vardy, Leicester legend, is now 37 years old. The team's expected to bring in fresh legs in order to perform in the top-tier league. But unfortunately, the team doesn't have huge amounts to spend due to their looming FFP restrictions and points deduction, which is not really being spoken about enough, is it? It's going to be an interesting situation for Leicester straight away next season when they come up because of the potential points deduction situation. Leicester City are facing a charge for allegedly breaching the Premier League's profit and sustainability rules in their final campaign before they were relegated. This will inevitably affect the spending situation and what the manager is going to be allowed to bring in. They have managed to bring in a couple of relatively cheap players so far, however. Firstly, they triggered their option to buy clause from the previous loan deal for Fatawu from Sporting Lisbon. He proved great value for the Foxes last season with 19 goal contributions in 33 starts. They have also signed Caleb Okoli from Atalanta for €14 million, a young centre-back who had a great season in Italy, proving his defensive prowess. Also, very luckily, considering the circumstances, Leicester do have some players who you may recognise returning from loan who could prove important to their season. Victor Christiansen, Boubacaré Soumaré, and Harry Souttar. Along with a free transfer for Bobby de Cordova-Reid, good bit of business there, they have some good players coming to the club for free, which could turn out to be massive. These guys will be hoping to impact the team at some point, just like two of Maresca's first signings did when they joined, Mads Hermansen and Harry Winks, who were in excellent form in the just concluded season. Maresca's possession game definitely needs a goalkeeper who can step forward and become an additional outfielder when his team's in possession. With Hermansen, he has just this. The Dane has been fundamental for Maresca since joining. No Championship goalkeeper has attempted more passes than his 2,042. In the middle of this, he's also kept 13 clean sheets in 44 matches. He's excelled at the basics as well of the goalkeeping job, ranking second for goals conceded per match at 0.91 and third for save percentage, 74.3%. Harry Winks also proved to be a much-needed signing. The English midfielder played as a number 6 for Maresca and helped pull the needed strings at the midfield while controlling that area. He will need to continue this form even more in the Premier League, especially since the departure of Dewsbury Hall. Yannick Vestergaard, who did not play a minute of league football during Leicester's relegation campaign, has seen an incredible comeback under Maresca, becoming virtually unbenchable and starting all but 4 league games in the just concluded season. In addition, he had more touches of the ball than any other Championship player, demonstrating his ease with the ball and value in Maresca's style. His brilliance, in fact, earned him a place in Denmark's Euro squad. Ricardo Pereira also had a wonderful season. The Portuguese was an important part of Maresca's game style and he delivered well. Jamie Vardy, the team's captain and talisman, was also in brilliant form last season. Vardy, who scored 24 times during the Foxes' 2015-16 historic campaign, again played a key role last season, netting 18 goals in the Championship along with 2 assists. However, this is actually even more impressive than it sounds, as he only started 18 matches, with 17 more appearances from the bench. So much is expected from Leicester City, despite this points deduction which could certainly dampen their hopes of staying up. Do they have the quality to stay up even with this? Time will tell.